Happening now, First at 4, a new discovery by researchers in San Antonio is helping in the fight against one of the world's deadliest diseases. The Ebola outbreak in Texas proved the virus has no limits, claiming lives and paralyzing people in fear. Eyewitness News reporter Sharon Coe explains the new findings.
Dr. Olena Stanko at the Texas Biomedical Research Institute is a warrior in the battle against Ebola. After gearing up in these protective suits, she handles deadly pathogens in this lab. There's only a handful of facilities like this in the country.
If we can look at another and we see differences.
Stanko is part of a team studying how Ebola makes its way into cells and replicates.
If we know how the virus enters the cell, we can find a way to target that entry and ultimately block it.
She says they already know the virus invades the body through a process called macropinocytosis.
Imagine the surface of the cell, and imagine the surface is just extending its arms around the virus, engulfing it and breathing inside the cell, so the virus can get engulfed and start replicating.
What they discovered is a second process happening at the cell surface.
It was very surprising to find that another mechanism called autophagy, or self-eating, was involved in uptake of the virus from the cell surface.
She says finding ways to regulate these two processes would be the next step.
It's very important to understand the biology of these emergent viruses, because viruses are not going anywhere. They are going to keep emerging. So we have here the facilities and expertise to study these viruses.
Sharon Coe, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.
Researchers say this newly identified process will help them treat cancers or neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's.